Hello, everyone. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get started, shall we? So, first question from Nicholas. Have you heard of this debatable topic on some fossils of Alamosaurus might be a different species? Utah-Titan could be Utah-Titan. If you heard of it, and the same with the Mexican fossils you just mentioned, and I have my doubts since there are not many fossils of them found to be certain. Do you agree? So, in terms of have I heard of this topic? Not too much because it's probably like one of those ones where it's like pretty quiet amongst the paleontology circles. But is it a topic? It pretty much is. It's just that do I think that Alamosaurus could actually be different there's some fossils of Alamosaurus that could be different species. It's a possibility, but yeah, I agree with you. I just don't know if there's enough evidence to support this. But we will need more fossil material to determine if there is different species of Alamosaurus. But yeah, I think this one is pretty much a quiet topic in paleontology. Not a lot of people are talking about this. It's not like highly talked about in terms of the sauropod studies, like say if Brontosaurus was a separate species, another species compared to Apatosaurus, and now that Brontosaurus is valid, because it is an diplodocid or an apatosaurian, that definitely is definitely a topic that will probably need a little bit more attention to actually determine if it is actually going to be something to be talked about in the future. All right, Benjamin, why are Barosaurus, Haplocanthosaurus, and Supersaurus very rare in the Morrison Formation? Well, it's because because a lot of times those larger sauropods tend to be very rare, and like when you're that big, the population size of those animals is going to be very small. And so Supersaurus is one of the largest sauropods in the Morrison Formation, so is Haplocanthosaurus. Barosaurus is basically diplodocid. It's one of the longer sauropods in the Morrison Formation, but it's not as long as like Diplodocus or Supersaurus, but it's close. But yeah, I would definitely say it's just more on like say that the population was just very small, and of course and them being fossilized is very rare, and so that's more likely the case. Why are Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus not the same dinosaur anymore? It's because there's new evidence now. It's like there's some differences in the skeleton, like the anatomy, to suggest is that Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus are different now. Because I was skeptical at first when this came out about saying that Brontosaurus is valid, but now as I actually looked at like the paper and I kind of see like, oh, there is some difference. Oh, so there is some differences in the anatomy of Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus. So like some of the bit of the bone structure might be a little bit different and all that sorts of stuff. So so it's just mainly new evidence now. It's just new evidence that Brontosaurus is valid. And what happened to Ultrasaurus? Well, Ultrasaurus is a chimera. It's a chimera type of dinosaur. You see, what happened is that a fossil hunter actually found some sauropod bones, and like some of the sauropod bones he found were really large, and so he was thought like, oh, this must be a really, really big sauropod, like a big brachiosaurid, and so that's why he named it Ultrasaurus. But as time went on and paleontologists took a much closer look at those fossils that were determined to be Ultrasaurus, they found out is that the shoulder blade was from a Supersaurus, and the I think it was one of the I think it is a forelimb, yeah, and parts of the forelimb were actually from a Brachiosaurus, and so they're not. So that just shows that Ultrasaurus is a chimera, or basically an invalid dinosaur. It's an invalid name now, and so that's just how it goes in paleontology, is that sometimes when we actually find fossils, we just assume that like, oh, could this be a different species? And that's why you have to look at the fossils closer and also compare them to other fossils to determine like, oh, this is not a new species. Like this bone belongs to this dinosaur and this bone belongs to this dinosaur. So it was pretty much a mix up. And so a lot of those bones were mixed together at times, but also like and also that guy also found like fossils from another quarry too. So that kind of makes things a little bit problematic with his like hypothesis about that there's another sauropod, another brachiosaurid that lived alongside of the other sauropods in the Morrison Formation. And your final question, what was the big claw of Apatosaurus used for? More likely like digging. Because see, the claw of Apatosaurus and most sauropods that have them, and some of the sauropods that do have them, I should say, they're mostly going to be used for digging. Because one, if you're like going to be digging, like say during a drought, you want to dig for water. So you dig as deep as you can to actually get the water, And then, of course, digging to build a nest. And that's what they're mostly going to be used for. And could they be used for defense? Slightly, but not too much. More likely is that they could rear up a little bit just to show off against the predator, like, hey, stay away from me. But they use their size. They just use their size to deter predators. So it's not really going to do all that much. So more likely for digging and for support of the animal as well. Weight support. All right, Speed Racer, your question. Do you think Stegosaurus might have engaged in parental care, or did it just leave its offspring to fend for themselves after laying eggs? Oh, they're gonna have parental care. Because we do find juvenile Stegosaurus with adult Stegosaurus, and the juveniles they don't look much like the adults because they're like back plates and their thagomizers are not fully developed yet. And so when we look at the juveniles that are with the adults, the showcases that they show parental care. It's mainly the sauropods that are more likely going to be the ones that are going to leave the young to fend for themselves. Stegosaurus is more likely going to take care of its young. And so they probably only had like maybe two or three hatchlings that come out. And then most likely is that the others get killed by predators. And then, of course, one does survive to actually become an adult. But remember, getting into adulthood for an animal is pretty low. And so it does showcases that the mortality rate of most like herbivorous animals is very small. It's very small, very low in terms of like how many of them can actually reach to adulthood. Very small margin can actually reach to adulthood. And so I would think parental care was definitely the best. I should say the mortality rate is high, not low, I should say. But anyway, I'd say Stegosaurus did actually showcase parental care. They did showcase parental care. All right, Alex, your question. Do you think that Marshosaurus and Ceratosaurus competed and fought against each other over the same food sources since they both did not go after the larger prey that lived in the Morrison Formation? They probably did. It's just that I think Marshosaurus is more likely going to be going after really small dinosaurs, and same thing with Ceratosaurus. I would say Ceratosaurus definitely had a much better shot at going after some of the larger animals. It's just that they're more likely going to go after some of the juveniles. So they went after like the juvenile Stegosaurus. They probably did go after like the juvenile sauropods. It's just that their prey of choice is mainly going to be like very small prey. Same thing with Marshosaurus. Marshosaurus is more likely going to go after like say Camptosaurus and like a few other of the ornithopods. That's pretty much what they're going to be doing. Did they fight each other for the same food sources? Mainly in the drought. Mainly in like tougher conditions. they probably had to do that. But like, if you're a predator, you don't want to fight another predator that often because one, why risk injury? They don't want to risk injury. Like they might like show off a bit, and then they actually just like leave each other alone. And of course, meat-eating dinosaurs, the theropods, are very territorial, and so they probably did not want to engage in a territorial dispute that much, and so they probably had to like keep their distance and also not risk injury. But did they compete for the same food source? Absolutely, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. It's just that Marshosaurus probably had. I think if I remember correctly, Marshosaurus is a megalosaurid, a very small megalosaurid, if I remember correctly, or is it a metriacanthosaurid? I can't remember. But it is one of them. I think it leans towards the metriacanthosaurid territory, but because I know Torvosaurus is a megalosaurid. But yeah, Ceratosaurus and Marshosaurus probably did compete for the same food sources, but they probably didn't fight each other that much. All right, that's it for now. So next week, there will not be a new episode. I am very busy next week. I got a lot of traveling going on. So I got my program going on and all that sorts of stuff. And so that is going on. So the next episode will be an extra episode in 2 weeks. And that will be, like I said, in 2 weeks. And so that would be the 25th of June. So on June 25th will be an extra episode. I'll let you guys know what I'm going to do for that, and probably next week, sometime next week, I will announce what I'm going to do for the next episode. So next week, no new episodes, but the polls will still continue, and also keep updating you on news on dinosaurs and other prehistoric life in the posts on YouTube. And so yeah, and of course the Rhinelander program that happened on June 8th of 2026. That went very well. Very good turnout, and a lot of kids that were very into the subject, and also they asked pretty good questions and very engaging, and that was great. And the adults were engaged as well, and so that was pretty good. And so had a fun time with that. And so yeah, so Rhinelander event was great. But anyway, so yeah. Extra episode will be within 2 weeks, so that'll be June 25th, 2026. And so I'll let you know what I'm going to do for that episode next week. But you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. Just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, yes, you post your questions in the comments section. Please put them in the comments section. Don't put them out. Don't put them on Messenger. Messengers are private conversations only. And so post your questions in the comments section on any Facebook post. And also for you YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel, not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And also hit the like button, so that's how the YouTube algorithm works. The more likes the video gets, the more likely the video gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So please feel free to do so. And also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So please feel free to do so. And also hit that notification bell so that we can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And so, and also on the post tab, you can check out, you go on my channel, you go on the post tab. I post updates on videos, and also a news on news in paleontology, mainly in the dinosaur news circle. And of course, I post polls every 3 days on the channel, so that way you guys can check those out and participate in the polls. And you guys are awesome participating in these polls, and that really does mean a lot. And of course, you YouTubers out there, leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. All of you guys are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube. You guys are awesome. Give me some great questions for these Q&A episodes, so keep up the great work. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. We'll post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads, same thing, at dino.chris.pf. I'll post pretty cool stuff on there as well. And also take care of the people around you. And also for your younger people out there, it makes a list of your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. So best motivation you could have for good education is very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.